We're back on the Morning Brew with friends. We're talking about fire safety with Chief Celaya here from Bernco County because it's Bernco on the brew. It's Bernco on the brew. Oh no, we don't have our graphic. I think our graphic didn't show up today. That's okay. But you're talking fire safety, and I was wondering because every year we always hear the myth, and it's not a myth. It turns out that Thanksgiving is one of the biggest fire days of the year.
It is.
And like I would never think that.
Absolutely, especially on cooking fires. When you look at cooking fires as a whole,
Right, I can see it that way.
people start cooking, they forget, they're watching the football games, and it just happens. It's one of the highest days.
That's amazing. Is it people blowing up turkeys that they try to deep fry too?
That's part of it.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've heard of that happening to several of my friends.
Absolutely.
But today we want to talk about Christmas tree safety because that's also a big fire danger. Do you get a lot of calls every year at the sheriff's department, at the fire department for Christmas trees on fire?
Well, as the holiday season comes in, there's just so much more about this. You know, and probably one of the things that the people have to remember is, you know, we get festive, we start thinking about a lot of other stuff.
Right.
And the last thing that comes to mind is all the stuff that we're doing with the electricity, the trees.
Right.
And just it happens that there are fires because of it.
Right. And what are the biggest things that people do? I think I'm probably guilty of this because you don't want to overload your outlets, right?
That's correct.
I am the guy who has 25 things plugged into 25 other things.
Correct.
And that's probably bad.
Yeah, if you ever seen the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely not the thing to do where you've got one.
Because that's how I learned. That was how I learned how to do Christmas lights. It was
Absolutely.
was from all the Lampoon movies.
Right. Yeah, it's certainly real easy to overload the circuits, especially when you get one of these and plug in another one, and you've just got a mountain of octopus connections.
Right.
So that's definitely one of the things to avoid.
Right, and you want a protector with a reset switch too,
Absolutely.
right? Because
Absolutely.
that protects the whole system from
That's
overload,
correct.
right?
That's correct.
And then don't use ancient lights. And I don't even know where these came from, but you guys from Bernco County brought in these lights, and if you can see them, these are like the oldest Christmas light bulbs I have ever seen. I don't think you can even find these anymore.
Yeah, these are pretty old.
Don't use these. Don't use old ones.
Well, you know, regardless of which ones you're using, it's really important that every time you pull out, you know, we don't think about them. You use them for a couple of months and you put them away and forget about them.
Right.
When you bring them out, you really need to take a look, inspect them. Make sure you're not afraid. Keep in mind, a lot of people put these away in a box. They put them in the attic. There's heat in there over the summer, and they start to fray and get old. So you want to inspect them, make sure they're in good working order, plug them in, and make sure that they're working properly.
Make sure they're not like overheating in one way.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You know, and just as well, people like to decorate the outside, putting these things up on the outside, using the right clips to make sure you hold them, not using those staple guns because that very easily can puncture these and cause a short circuit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with the tree itself, how dry is too dry?
Well, you know, the most important thing is keeping the bottom. If you're using a fresh tree, keeping that pan with water.
Right.
You know, especially in the winter time as it gets cold, people turn on their heaters and it dries the ambient air out there inside the house. And it doesn't take much. You know, you take a look at forest fires and those things just get going and it gets out of control.
Yeah.
It doesn't take very long
for a tree to get dry.
Yeah, these things get dry, and perhaps some type of fire. These things will burn in just a matter of minutes.
Right, and then there goes the rest of your house
Absolutely.
too. And then I know that candles are a big part of anybody's holiday celebration.
Correct.
You know, everybody puts them up. So what's a good way to make sure that your candles don't start fires in the rest of your house?
Absolutely. You know, probably the most important thing is one, make sure they're attended. If you're going to have a candle, don't leave them unattended.
Right.
Of course, the other safety things are keeping them in the right type of thing, some type of holder so you don't melt. And cause a fire in that sense.
Just don't forget that it's there.
Absolutely.
Is the big thing, right?
Absolutely.
What are some of the biggest concerns you have over the holidays?
Well, I think as the holiday approaches, you know, people just are so distracted and just don't think about these things on a daily basis. You know?
Right.
And that's probably the biggest thing is just keeping in mind that fire safety is important year round.
Right. Put the batteries in your smoke detector. Right?
Absolutely. And we still have our project out there. We provided free smoke detectors.
Right.
We're still doing a little bit of that. If people are still looking, we'll take those and go out and install free smoke detectors.
And that's for anybody in the county?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very cool. So I got a quick question for you here. How does our tree look? Are we fire safe here at the Morning Brew? I was looking at our tree. We got lights. We got stuff. It's a fake tree, mostly, I think.
Yep, yep.
But is that fire safety okay?
That's a good-looking tree, you know.
Okay. You heard it here. The chief says our tree is fire safe.
That's what we hope. It's a good-looking tree, and of course, when you look, even artificial trees, you want to make sure your lights and everything are working properly.
Right. Because even artificial trees, the plastic can burn.
Absolutely.
You have problems with it,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. So, and then in the new year, what are some of the things that you're worried about too when it comes to fire safety?
Well, you know, keep in mind a lot of people like to celebrate, and fireworks come back in about the new year.
Oh, of course.
And it's not always just the fire danger, of course, the danger of injury that comes along with that.
Right.
So we want to keep those things in mind.
Right. Because people forget that you don't just do fires, you do first aid calls.
Absolutely.
And you don't want any of those.
That's correct. And every year you have injuries due to that kind of stuff.
Right.
So you got to keep the fire in mind and your personal safety as well.
Right. Well, I think Puddles is coming on in. Did you see Puddles getting ready
I did.
backstage?
I did.
This is going to be so much fun. She's got on all kinds of crazy, ugly sweaters. We'll be back in a couple of minutes on the Morning Brew with Friends. And finally, my friend Puddles is going to be here. And of course, the chief says our tree is not only pretty, but our tree is also safe. We love that. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you in a few weeks.
All righty. Thank you.
On the Morning Brew with Friends.
But as long as you love me so, let it snow and snow.